Can you sue for a bad credit report? In the UK, creditors are permitted to pull a consumer's credit report for specific, legitimate purposes. These permissible purposes are primarily established under the Data Protection Act 2018 and the principles laid out by the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR. Understanding these regulations is crucial for consumers to ensure that their credit information is accessed appropriately and that their rights are upheld. What constitutes permissible purpose? Application for credit. The most common permissible purpose is when a consumer applies for credit, whether it be for a credit card, loan, mortgage, or other financial products. Creditors have the right to assess a consumer's creditworthiness by pulling their credit report as part of the decision-making process. Account review. Creditors can also review existing accounts periodically to manage risk. This might involve monitoring a consumer's payment history or changes in financial circumstances that could impact the ongoing relationship with the creditor. Debt collection. If a creditor is seeking to collect on an outstanding debt, they may pull a consumer's credit report to understand their financial situation better and determine the best course of action. Fraud prevention. Creditors may access credit reports to conduct checks aimed at preventing fraud. This is essential when there are signs of identity theft or unusual activity associated with an account. Insurance underwriting. Insurers may access consumer credit reports when determining eligibility and pricing for certain types of insurance products, particularly those related to personal loans or mortgages. Employment purposes. In certain circumstances, employers may check an applicant's credit history as part of the hiring process, particularly for positions that involve financial responsibility. However, this must be disclosed to the candidate and consent obtained. Consent requirement. Under both the DPA 2018 and GDPR, creditors must have a valid basis for accessing a consumer's personal data, which includes their credit report. Typically, this involves obtaining explicit consent from the consumer before conducting a credit check. This means that consumers should be informed clearly about why their information will be accessed and how it will be used. How consumers can sue if their credit report is pulled without consent. If a creditor pulls a consumer's credit report without obtaining proper consent, several avenues exist for recourse. Here's how consumers can proceed. Gather evidence. The first step for consumers is to collect evidence demonstrating that their credit report was accessed without consent. This includes retaining records of any communications with the creditor regarding consent, as well as checking their own credit report for unauthorized inquiries. Contact the creditor. Before pursuing legal action, it is advisable for consumers to contact the creditor directly. They should present their evidence and express their concerns regarding the unauthorized pull of their credit report. Often, creditors may have internal processes in place to address such complaints, which can result in resolutions without further escalation. File a formal complaint. If discussions with the creditor do not yield satisfactory results, consumers can file a formal complaint with regulatory bodies, such as the Information Commissioner's Office. The Information Commissioner's Office oversees data protection matters in the UK and can investigate breaches of data protection laws. Seek legal counsel. If all attempts to resolve the issue fail, and consumers believe they have suffered damages due to unauthorized access to their credit report, they may consider consulting with legal professionals specializing in consumer rights or data protection law. A legal expert can provide guidance on whether there is a viable claim under civil law for breach of data protection regulations. Pursue legal action. Should legal counsel determine that there are grounds for action, consumers may file a lawsuit against the creditor in question. Grounds for legal action could include breach of statutory duty under data protection laws, breach of confidence if confidential information was improperly disclosed, potential damages arising from harm caused due to wrongful access of personal data, e.g. denial of future credit opportunities. Potential damages. Consumers who successfully demonstrate unauthorized access may be entitled to various forms of compensation, including any financial losses incurred due to incorrect reporting or distress caused by potential identity theft, resulting from careless handling of personal data. Final considerations. Consumers should remain vigilant about monitoring their credit reports regularly. Many agencies offer free annual reports and should promptly dispute any inaccuracies or unauthorized inquiries they notice on their reports. It's also important for consumers to understand their rights under both UK data protection laws and financial regulations, so they can effectively protect themselves against misuse of their personal information. By staying informed and taking proactive steps when necessary, consumers can safeguard their financial reputations and hold creditors accountable for proper use of their credit information within permissible boundaries established by law.